Hi, it's Aquarist weekly blog. We've got right now 50 subscribers or over 50, so I'm happy with it. Small steps uh, that are motivating me. Maybe not amount of subscribers, but making those videos motivates me to tweak things in here and improve, or making it more mm, consistent. Like not to give up, but move forward. And I can see just looking by previous videos how much it has been changed. Uh, like from one tank like this one to all set in this rack and additional in here. Yeah, I'm happy with those results. On to some up previous things I have just pointed will do. I've kind of finished medication on 3 tanks. Like this one was on MLP. Mm, it had 2 doses of it with like 5 days or 7 days break between those dosage. It's hard to tell if it's really done anything good. I can see same amount of fish, and so at least they didn't die. There's still that really undersized one with flat belly, and I've noticed that this one got on head some white spot. I don't think it was earlier, so maybe there are additional issues right now. Hard to tell. Most obvious disease was in here. I guess Odinos. It, the fish had some silver dots on bodies, and after mm, 10 days there was still one fish with those dots, so I prolonged it a day more. I guess I would yesterday as well put medicine, but it was too late and I wasn't able. And today is as well too late to uh, do some major changes, so I thought I would make water change in here and put another dosage of medicine, but probably I will just put that medicine without water change and do tomorrow water change, as that disease still is uh, in here, but just on 1 or 2 fish. So I think it's quite good result, considering that there are shrimps and snakes, and I wouldn't want to kill them with some stronger medicines. I've used this one, which is like herb based, or got into some more natural ingredients. This tank had same disease, uh, and I don't see any dots on them, but I can see here more uh, like fish with flat bellies, so that's not a good thing to see. I will put as well in here that medicine just in case, and start feeding more brine shrimp and see how those fish will look. If they will still have flat bellies, I will have to treat them with different medicine, and as well try to not kill any snails in here, especially that I have here some youngsters of snails. More bad news, that tank that was supposed to be plant tank with CO2 is like kind of overwhelmed with algae. But at the same time, I can see some small beginning of growth on plants, so maybe they will kick back. Like I've said earlier, they didn't had CO2 on first 2 weeks or so. They were adjusting as well after shipment in this new tank, so it wasn't for them good time before. Dosing phosphor as tests indicate that there isn't any phosphor, so that could be the reason as well. Before I will try to do it more consistently, like every day, not every third day like it was before. Yeah, probably will do some trimming of longer plants that are hard to see right now, and will take those that cut parts and try to put them in a separate box as immersed mm, growth. As I promised myself, I've started to grow Java moss, like on purpose, not only in tanks but in tub. I've decided to set it immersed, like with minimum portion of water, so there won't be, I guess, algae issue. I have seen that method on YouTube with some success, so I've put some bunch of Java mouse and cut it with scissors, and we'll repeat that once a week, I guess. Headings. We'll put similar box in my grow box. I've decided that I will use my grow box totally just for aquatic plants. Like now, I've tried to put some um vegetables, etc., for kitchen, but having it in basement and kitchen on few floors above, it wasn't a good idea, I guess. So I will try put there as many tabs as I can fit, and will share results with another video, I guess. I thought that I will like take apart this tank since planaria is winning in here. But I've decided that we'll 3D print that planaria traps I found on internet seams for it. So in theory it will be like that. Some food inside. And I won't put any food in other places of aquarium for 2 days, just in that box. So planaria will climb up, go to those holes that in theory are smaller than shrimps, and it will be trapped in here. Uh, Probably I will remove Java moss in here before fighting with planaria, just to make it easier mm, to do. Now I've started making those sponge mobs for Guppy fry, since I was used to for many years that guppies aren't eating their fries, like not particular guppies, but antlers uh, and antler tiger, which is like hybrid, some mix with antler and guppy. They are they are quite small, especially males. Older female can be bigger, but that isn't a problem. I think they aren't as baby eaters as different guppies. So right now I've got some bigger guppies, and it is some issue with it. At least I thought it is an issue, like for panda guppy. I got few fry, and it's like inadequate smaller amount than it should be like, I know antlers like in as a rule don't have a lot of fry, but like panda guppy should have at least same amount, not less. So I assumed that there has been eating them. They have been eating them. So in current week, I've installed one mob for them. Yeah, I got some plants, but they aren't like touching top of water usually. I think to grow guppy grass, but it's like making really slow progress. Maybe because I have a lot of purpose on my times. So and to get water change, maybe they don't have a lot of ingredients to propagate correctly. Not sure. So that's pond mob. For me, it's looking quite good. I'm trying it with different colors, like multicolor green, and I've got a darker green. I will compare it in tanks. Which of it is the best, and we'll stick, I guess, with one color or more not necessary. But I've noticed like different issue. Like you can see, there is a fry, quite big one, but not a lot of them. Like comparing to koi, mm, which isn't as much as well. But in theory, I can see more of them, and I was able to multiply them a lot faster than those, I guess. Mm, there's, for example, those endless, but I got them for many years, so it's not a surprise. We have two colonies. Well, here are less adults. Probably this Odinos has happened it with those older ones. I attacked them aggressively. Younger ones are holding better. Well, right now they are after medicine treatment 11 days, so like, but even before those youngsters probably were more resistant for Odinos. Okay, here are my koi second colony, and you can see my original female. She's like really huge. I can imagine that she doesn't give any babies anymore, probably, but her mouth could eat some, so would be nice to have here like three of those spawned mobs. Yeah, I'm not yet putting this one inside as I want to get lighter and melt down every ending, so it will serve me a long time. I didn't notice on instructional videos such a procedure to burn up endings, but I can only assume that's the best option for this kind of synthetic wool. I've done it in this one, and it's doing alright, I guess. No, I can't sell. I can't recommend it just after 1 week. But I'm just making notice that it could be in theory issue. So I was mm, preserving myself, preventing that issue. Okay, like bigger problem with that fry, I think, was temperature because I didn't have like thermometers in each tank. It could be a longer story. Well, I just put in my hand and I can feel that this is colder than this, and this is as cold as this one, or similar, close enough. I've put some heaters, not heaters, thermometers, and temperature is like room temperature, 21 degrees. This one shows 20. but it's like quality of those could be different, have different values. And this one shows like on 26 and a half or even 27. So definitely heater is working in here. Like today I've removed heater from this one because I knew it isn't working. From here I probably should do the same, remove it. Or did I? Or have I done it? Yeah, I have removed it a few days ago from same reason. That it's broken. They were really cheap heaters, like the lowest price since I got 10 tanks and had additional beta tanks years ago or whatever. I've used a lot of them, and apparently, like, uh, I have broken maybe one of them because I wasn't keeping enough water in tank, but those two, well, they broke them by themselves, and at least three heaters were like broken, I think, without my help. So like almost 30% of heaters has broken after 1 year or 2 years, depending on which heater in which tank. So that's not good news. So I've started to ordering heaters of more known companies like Aqua is Polish company. Heaters are made in Poland. Actually, I've got one heater that is like good more than 10 years or maybe 20. That is Aqua. It got built-in thermoregulation, like it's set up for 25 degrees. Obviously, that heater is too small for the tank and it's showing only 22 degrees. But for rotifiers, it's not even required to have heater, I guess. But it's only show that that heater is still working. And that is the reason I have purchased like used one Aqua 25 watt fix heater. Fix mean that it got like internal uh, chip or whatever that is keeping it on 25 degrees tank. Mm, so there isn't any regulation, but it's not always turned on. It's keeping 25 Celsius degrees. And hopefully it will work. That used one will work longer than those cheap one. But for those two tanks with Guppy Koi and Guppy Panda, I've ordered new one as well, Aqua Fix 2 version 2, 50 watts. Uh, Construction of them is quite strange for me. Like this really odd solution. They used similar thing for LED lights. It's open tube for like open sealed, but with some additional rubber than glass ending from both sides. Like it's taking off too easy. That's odd for me. It's probably easier to produce thanks to this. Mm, won't argue if it's good or bad, just odd enough to mention it. Like that older version had it more regular way, like those broken heaters where it's like glass sealed. Well, I've heard that Eheim Jager are quite robust heaters with long life, but they are like two, even two times in theory. more expensive than Aquarel, at least with lower watts. So I've only purchased 75 watt. It's not Jager, but some different model thermal control. It's in theory more modern one from what I have seen in movies. On video, it got like actual precise regulation. You can set whatever you want. I will use it as a backup, and maybe we'll try to do some breeding rack or breeding tub with smaller tabs in it, and we'll test it on Guppy fry. Because right now I've got only Guppy fry, so maybe we'll check it out how it's working on live links. Since those tanks with Guppy Koi and Guppy Panda have 21 degrees, I don't want to put heaters fixed on 25 and rise temperature to about 4 degrees higher in like half hour or 1 hour. I think it would be too drastic. So for night, I will put that huge heater in one of those tanks, set it on 23, so it's only 2 degrees difference. And at morning, we'll switch heaters to destination one with 25 degrees and put this in another tank. But first, clean it in under sink just to prevent any accidental disease. Like tap water isn't antiseptic, but it should be fine. Both tanks, I haven't noticed any disease on those one. With that aim heater, I've ordered 4 thermometers, but in box was only one, so I'm short of 3 of them. I've wrote to seller that information, but it's like 2 days after shipment, so I doubt they will be happy to believe me. Yeah, but when I purchased a really cheap Aquarel used one heater, there was in box used thermometer as well, so at least I got one additional like for free, particularly this one. I don't purchase well, actually I don't like this kind of thermometers because I've previously have been ordering them on larger scale, and every second one was like broken. I've received it broken or it's decalibrated after a few days. Like I've got one in my baby brine shrimp hatchery, and maybe it's not visible that, oh yeah, that line is split in half. In that tube inside there is some dirt that is splitting them. I've tried to regenerate those heaters, those thermometers, with heating up it so it would rise that red fluid inside on that top, boil up and go down, but it's like temporary installation. After a few days it's still broken, so it's pointless to order them. And I've got like that thermometer probably got 30 years or so, and it's more similar to this one, so I'm focusing only on that kind of thermometers, if any. I thought I wouldn't need thermometers since I've got heaters and they are keeping my temperature, but apparently I have to be boss and keep myself that just to know that heaters are still working. I thought I will use faster some smart stuff, some electric thermometers connected to microcontroller and with some LED lamps indicate if the temperature is alright or no, or maybe do some small website to check out stats for last day or week, but I don't have time right now to do such a stuff, even if I have components somewhere in house. Yeah, so I have to do it in old-fashioned way. Additional bad news: my algae's my photobioreactors are doing bad. Like on video, it's kind of green, yeah, but I know it was like more green previously. Now it's like brown. So my theory is that this is different algae than previously. Like it was green water from tank in shop. I put it in here and it was really nice green. Apparently, maybe I didn't feed it enough, and some different colony of algae that were inside, because it's like probably a mix of different species in here, and that different algae has won, or maybe those algae has aged and died, and no new have born. Whatever the case is, it's not looking good. I try putting food here again, mm, and probably in this week I will restart one tube, like clean it very precisely, change even that mm, air stone. Like it's not air stone, it's 3D printed kind of air stones. So I would clean up one tube and try to get that green algae from my backup uh, tabs that I have in two different places in home, like in grow box and somewhere else in different room. And I've heard that chlorella is like really growing faster than regular green water algae in aquariums. So it's like the best option in sweet waters. So I've ordered it in from different country. Uh, I don't remember which one, maybe Sweden. And I'm waiting for delivery right now. And we'll reuse one of those three photoreactors to set up that chlorella. Maybe I will put some covers to not contaminate chlorella with those ones, and probably will put in here some extra tabs as a backup ones with chlorella as well. I'm not sure if I will be able to feed chlorella properly. I won't buy F2 formula that is dedicated for algae. I will just put a regular plant fertilizer, small amounts of them, or that from fish tank with ammonia, yeah, water. Maybe I will do some experiment and put in different tabs with chlorella, different foods, and see how it will grow. In previous week, I probably showed that in vinegarios, and they are growing properly, I guess, in here, and that banana worms, mm, this have wasn't haven't been restarted like for over 2 months, I guess. Uh, Only once I've put some additional oaks and yeasts, 2 times yeasts, so it would be longer without mold. Don't need right now banana worms, since I don't have any uh, fry from hatching. only guppies, so it's not required for me. And it seems to be really working fine with adding some yeasts to that box to not need to restart medium, like clean up that container, boil up water, put yeast, and wait until it's not hot anymore, and put top of worms from previous medium on it. So it's easier to put some oaks, maybe water and yeasts to just keep it more uh, alive, not restart it completely. Since I was watching those Guppy pandas, I've noticed that three males were always chasing in a group, one female, like there are three females, and they were probably chasing all of them, but three males, same female at one time. So it was stressful for females, I guess. And since there was issue with temperature at 10.1 degrees, so I've took out one male that I liked the least, and I've put him in here with my backup California blackworms. Since it doesn't have heater, so it's same temperature, and he can live in here. Blackworms are too big for him to eat all of them, or even one, I guess. That is my way of managing extra miles of that panda guppies. This for now. In previous week, I was like promised to myself that I will hatch more baby rhyme shrimps more regularly, and I've done it. Like maybe not a lot of them because it's like second time in that week that I have hatched them. They are ready to collect. I was mentioning a bit that I'm not happy with collecting baby prime shrimps, etc., because there are some eggs lying down, probably unhatched, like they are wasted, and those are eggs on top, probably empty from hatched baby ram shrimps. So on top and bottom there are some eggs, and I don't want to put them in my tanks. I want to do the middle part. In theory, people like covering it up, putting light, and they are coming all to bottom. But at bottom, there are those eggs anyway. So I've got different methods. I don't care about light and where they are. I'm putting like that container, pouring all water except like half-inch of it. And what's happening? All those bottom eggs, after setting it up for a few minutes, are in bottom. On top, there shouldn't be any eggs since I don't pour that water from top. And I got a lot of water with brine shrimp, but I've siphoned it out with net, leaving on bottom eggs and just taking baby brine shrimp. I'm not sure is it efficient, but it's for me it's quite simple right now, and I will stick with that plan until I figure out anything more efficient, but for me it's fine. Okay, I've moved it in here so I will have easier access to pour in actual brine shrimp into bigger container. And that's some leftover of trying to hide them out, but I don't think it's like required since I'm pouring all water from here except some small amount. Right now I'm waiting, so if I moved it in here, maybe some of top eggs has moved a little bit at bottom on middle, So after a few minutes, I will start pouring baby ram shrimp in here. Some of bottom eggs will be in here, and after another few minutes, they will drop down on bottom, and will save out rest of baby ram shrimps. I have seen videos of people feeding baby ram shrimp that those eggs were on sponges. It's not really an option for me to have such a mess in tanks, and I've heard that like rams can have some issues with those eggs, then they may try to eat it and even die because of it. Probably it's like for issue for smaller than adults, but I'm not intent to check it myself. Now I have to more often gather banana worms and put those to guppy mouths, since I've got quite a lot of them in here and I'm forgetting about it. Like maybe the last week or two were too crazy for me to keep up with everything there, but I have to start doing it. Mm, and as for rotifers, it's still a mystery for me. Like I can see that they are in here. They kind of grow, but they aren't bigger than 2 days ago. So, and I don't see any density improvement, enlargement. Like there are some amount of them, but for me, it doesn't look like too impressive. It's not a cloud, just few of them in here. I wonder if it will improve or not. I'm not sure what to do because I don't have any feeders that I would intentionally want to feed with them to anybody. Maybe if I will start that fry rack, I will put those and try to see if young guppy fry will eat it, or is it too small for them. And as well, I've got some issues with that green water. I'm still pouring it in every day and put it in here. I hope they are eating even that brown version of algae. Yeah. I'm not sure what to think about those certificates yet. As for blackworms, they are hard to, yeah, to see. Okay, they are eating because if I flashlight, they are tend to hide. If I use too much light, they are living in here. I'm putting some amount of food. I'm not sure is it too small or too big amount. Water isn't stinking. I'm like sometimes doing water change, but like once a week or once every 10 days we'll do it. Okay, if I flashlight, they're almost gone. Yeah, they are hiding, which is quite strange and cool. So every 10 days I'm planned to about I won't count it water change, and every 5 other days or 4 I will just pour in additional water. So I will drain out that amount of water, pour in some of them, and later every 3 days maybe just pour in additional water. So there won't be as many water changes, but some uh, water pouring in. Yeah, I kind of like ChatGPT. I'm sometimes asking Aquarist questions to it. I got paid version and it's generating images. I was like impressed on some Facebook group with someone that was like making live food probably for himself, but in a result selling to other people as well. And he got like labeled every bottle and every box with banana worms, and bottles with probably eager eels or whatever he had, with some of the same logo of his mm, farm or whatever you can say it is. So I've decided to um, make with using that ChatGPT artificial intelligence some logo, and like made few prompts and had to manually take parts of it to make one logo, like Fish Snack Pro, just to make similar thing for myself, like to motivate myself for keeping good quality, good amounts, and like mm, fail-proof colonies, mm, and as well try to sell anything that is like too much for me, like those banana worms. If I restart colony, which I'm not, I could do it every week or even more often, but I don't need it, and I got like my adverts on online, and no one really cares to buy it. Like there will be 2 persons a year, so I'm not restarting it every week. Like I try to right now keep it up with the months right now. But if I will sell it, I want to be able to label it with such a logo that person would knew if he repurchase it again. That's it, or buy a different thing, or maybe online, that is from same source. Would wanted to say person, but maybe source is more mm, proper. Yeah. And I will put online those eagles since they are in my possession like week. It's not much, but I can see that they are doing fine propagating. So soon I will put them online. Maybe someone will like to buy them locally or with shipment in my country. So I will mark them with same idea and print out some basic informations how to keep them alive. I know it's on internet, etc., but manual instruction is quite helpful when you are standing in front of an aquarium, not on when you don't want to dive into internet and be distracted. In last week, I've sold 10 or 12 Guppy coins, uh, mostly males because I had a lot of them and not so many females, so I needed space for younger generation, and that covered like one heater. So I have purchased 4 heaters, and one of them was covered with selling those guppy coins. Like fish in Poland aren't as expensive as in different countries, from what I have seen and people are telling. So yeah, for me it's good enough that this heater was paid by with it. And in theory, after putting those 2 heaters and doing water changes and regular feeding few times more than just one time a week or one time a day, it would make faster grow and bigger um, amount of fry, I guess. I can say some correlation between water change temperature and food, amount of food. So it's like WTF, what the fuck? And as well hideouts, because without it, apparently in bigger guppies, there still could be issue. So a question would be water, temperature, food, and hideouts. What the fuck hide? Yeah, that's recipe for huge amount of fast growing guppies, I guess. Or a lot of different fish as well. Like maybe I didn't set it properly. Food, frequent uh, feeding them with small amounts, like 3 times a day, probably would be the minimum if you want to expect to have some good results. And like you don't necessarily would be successful with like raising temperature on high level and putting tone of food. Well, water change could help with not dying those fish with some tank crash, but they wouldn't be as happy. Like even if it's like heat waves in summer, not in basement but on floor above in my regular rooms, and the in tank was like high temperature, so I've actually feeded them less, just to prevent tank crash. Like there was less oxygen and water could easier stink out. I don't do their water changes or do them really rarely, especially before my rack story. Like 2 years ago, I was just tapping in water if it's evaporated. Now I try to make water changes, not only in basement, but without that system, it's like less fun. So yeah, it's like that water, temperature, food in proportion, but with some restraints that you don't have. You shouldn't overdo any of those, I guess. Yeah, I know I'm saying some obvious things, kind of, but it's nice even for me to make that statements and like apply them not only in basement but in my actual regular tank in some different room. Yeah, I guess. Okay, it has passed a lot of time, so I don't think any eggs are in the middle, just on bottom and top. I'm opening valve, which isn't like really fun to do. You have to turn it few times without disturbing water. Well, with one hand isn't as good to do. Yeah, I've moved it, and right now those eggs are moving from top to middle, or maybe even bottom. Yeah, probably they are driving into bottom, which isn't the best for me. Okay, I will move that valve in more open state. Okay, and close it. Yeah. So probably I will wait another minute just to prevent that stuff. Well, wait a minute. If it's drowning, then in theory I could put it in here since it will drown. and bottom of this one. Okay, if it's not obvious that it's floating, it can be in here. Like I said, I don't have really good solution for those. It's kind of working. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with that plan for a longer term, but for now it's enough. To even now water is poured off and those eggs are lying on glass, so it's even better for me when it comes to those wider, those narrow part. In theory, those eggs will as well be left on wells. If not, I will always leave some water in here so those eggs won't be sucked up and fly on top of this, since I don't want to have it in with my live brine shrimp in net. I will use this net with above sink and pour it all water after a few minutes of sitting without movement, so all eggs will be at bottom. Yeah, like in here all eggs are eggs on bottom, but in here you can see eggs on top of it. Yeah, it's hard to see right now, and I'm closing it. Yeah, so there are leftovers. There are some baby brine shrimp. Maybe I will take them out with trucker base, but I'm like really not eager to take out those eggs with them as well. You can see that on top there aren't visible eggs. I hope there won't be any fly outs from middle to top. They shouldn't. And I'm not sure if on bottom there are some. If yes, they will should stay in bottom, even if I will pour it out with on some angle. It's too dear to like determine it immediately, but like I said, I was doing it previously and it was more obvious for me that there some eggs from bottom are going in here. Yeah, so right now I will just pour in to that net without eggs, baby brine shrimp. I'm really not sure is it proper method, but it's kind of working for me for those few times I've tried it. I'm not sure if I had really so many informations or I'm really slow and tired that this video got almost 1 hour. So it's for this week it's more than enough to say. Really don't know what I'm gonna do in next week except of those putting those two heaters and trying to do save some plants and put them in grow box immersed with some garden mm, garden ground. Yeah. Thanks for watching. and hopefully in the next week it will be like 10 minutes video, or maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, leave a comment if you dare.